Today I'm sharing my favorite moody candle decor. Keep watching. I'm Brandy, and this is Making It My Own DIYs. Welcome. Be a Gothic candelabra. So I found this recently at Goodwill bin store, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do with this. How perfect is this going to be underneath that beautiful framed piece of art with the raven on it? Yes. So I'm calling this Gothic. You can call this whatever you want. This was made in the USA and it is old. Okay, so we're going to use possibly some candles from Dollar Tree. I am going to take some matte black paint and I am going to clean this, and then I am going to spray paint it, and then we're going to dry brush some more of that espresso on it. And by the way, thank you to one of my viewers who told me that it's pronounced espresso. My whole life, as country as I am, we have said espresso. That is incorrect. So if it bothered anyone, I'm so sorry. It is what it is. So now I know. You know better, you do better. So anyway, now I'm going to start just wherever I want to at the top, so I don't have to worry about trying to hold it and touch the paint that I've already put down. So I'm going to add this on here. I'll be a little more generous on this piece than I was on the frame because I just really wanted to highlight it, on the frame. And for this, I really want to make this look, a little more richer and a little more, I don't know, a little more bronze than black. Let's just say what it is. That's what it is. I'm going to brush this in all of those areas, and you can see the difference that it makes if you look to the right side and to the left side of the frame. If it was left black, you would not see any of those beautiful details. To me, this looks like an expensive iron piece, but it's not. It's just like the resin that they use. It's just a simple, inexpensive piece. This probably could have come from, what was the name of that? Was it Home Decor, Home Interiors? That's what it was. Possibly a piece like that. If you can find those kinds of things, that would be really nice to redo and have some beautiful, beautiful pieces too. So look at the difference that this makes. I'm leaving all this in because if you're not someone who's ever done this before, I want you to feel encouraged. I want you to feel brave, and I want you to do something different. You might even have something in your house already that's black, that maybe you had farmhouse like me. I had farmhouse for a long time, and now I want to add some color back into my life. I want to add some richness and coziness that I am not finding anymore from that airiness that comes with farmhouse. I just want to feel like I am just wrapped up in comfort and, like Harry Potter stuff, the feeling. That's what I'm trying to do. But I don't want to spend a lot of money doing it. And I want mine to be my own, right? Because in this channel, we make it my own and we do it on a budget. And you can certainly do this on a budget. Maybe you can find it at a garage sale if you don't have good thrift stores. Or make something that, take something you already have. Offer to clean out grandma's closet or mom's closet or your sister's closet. And maybe you can find something like that. So here are the ones from Dollar Tree, and here are the ones from IKEA. These were thrifted. These I like much better. However, they both fit. So either way, you can use either candle. Now I'm going to do a little something extra on these candles because I want them to appear old and used. So we're going to give them a little bit of a little spiffing up. I have taken the plastic off. I have removed with my Goo Gone all of the residue from the stickers. And I am now going to make it look like we've got wax dripping. I did a candle last year using I think it was a Dollar Tree napkin that had a raven on it. Absolutely stunning. I am so pleased with that candle because it was also a plastic candle. A battery operated candle. It turned out wonderful. It had lots of drips on it. It looked so old. But we're going to do something similar with these. So you can take your heating tool or your blow dryer, whatever you have, blow over the top of it when you're adding your layers, and it will smooth out those layers to look like one melted, waxy situation. Now you can add on, put more drips on there if you want. Keeping in mind, gravity's going to pull it downward, so just, I'm trying to be a little more realistic, not going sideways with it, because in my house, wax doesn't go sideways. That would be a different video. Okay, so once that is done and cooled, then you can lay it down. I'm going to take a little bit of my painter's tape from Dollar Tree and go right around the fire part, because I don't want any paint on here. I am not digging the color of these candles, and I need to make the hot glue grips look the same color as the candle. So I'll be taking 3 of these into my garage with a fan and some ventilation, and I will be painting them to make them all look the same and all look a little more realistic. I mean, we know it's a fake candle. We wouldn't be putting tape over the actual flame. So my heirloom white I put on there, and then I took some of my alcohol spray and I sprayed all over the candle. Little flicks. You can flick on some dark paint if you want to, but this is just a tarnished silver color that I sprayed on here. Then I'm going to take my brush and some antique wax, and you can also, I don't know that I would use a baby wipe. It might lift up the alcohol drops, the paint drops. So I just wanted to use my chippy brush and a dry paper towel to rub that in. I'm going around where the wax is. I'm going around the top all the way to the bottom, because the little rubber part on the bottom, which turns the candle on and off, is where it's going to sit down in the cups on the candelabra. And I want to make sure that it is a solid finish all the way down to that point. So when we take it off, isn't that better? Doesn't that look grungy and better, like it's been in an old home? Yes. I'm going to go around. Just make sure that you get all around the areas of the candle that have where you have made some wax drips on the top, to really give it a nice look. If you have never been to my channel before and you have never met me before, my name is Brandy, and I'm all about inexpensive, beautiful, unique DIYs. So thank you for watching as part of a playlist, or just if you found the video on my channel or in suggestions or wherever you found it. I would love to have you as part of my YouTube family. We are very active in the comments in all of our videos, and I do respond to everyone. So feel free to leave me a comment and tell me what you think about this. Won't this be stunning with that picture? Poison candle. I didn't know what else to name this one. It's poison on the napkin, right? So we're going to use a flameless candle. This one is about 6-7 inches tall. The napkin's from Dollar Tree, some Mod Podge. We're going to use some of the shimmer mist, some gold paint. Okay, we're going to start by taking our napkin, laying it out. We are going to tear the bottom corner, because this is the easiest way to separate the layers, in my opinion. So I'm just going to tear that part. It's not the part we're going to use, so it doesn't matter that it's torn. And I'm going to trim off what I need. I've already laid the candle down. I know how tall it basically needs to be. And I'm going to trim off the black edges, but I'm going to leave the bottom edge black. So I love this napkin. They did a really good job on this one. There's a really pretty spider one too that I saw in some people's videos, but I can't find that one at my store. So this is what I'm going to use. I'm going to trim this off so that I don't have a big overlap, but I do want it to overlap a tad. So I could have had 2 bottles and 1 raven, or 2 ravens and 1 bottle. Whichever way you want to do yours is totally fine. I'm going with the poison here. I'm going to add Mod Podge all over my flameless candle, and this sticks nicely. It does have like a waxy coating, so I guess you could heat it up, whatever, but this is just the quickest way for me to show you how to do it. I'm going to add it down so that it is nice and lined up with that black line on the bottom. That's going to be our border line. And just gently, gently fold and press. You have to be careful. This is 1 ply. This is a Dollar Tree napkin, and it could tear, so you got to be very careful. So now I'm going to go over the edge, and I'm just going to brush away from the seam so that I don't pull it back up. And I'm going to go all the way around the candle with the Mod Podge. I'm going to use a lighter to take the edges off the top. Be very careful, this is not for children. My videos are not for children. If you don't want to do it this way, you can just fussy cut it, no problem. Now is the fun part. I'm going to trace the bottles and the bird with the hot glue. We're going to raise this up so we can give some dimension. I'm going to go around the neck of the bottle and just carefully go around the entire thing. Now this is my Sure Bonder glue gun. It is not a fine tip gun, but it's working fine for this project. It gave me fits for a little while, but I guess it was clogged up. If you leave your gun on too long unattended, the glue will melt in there and then it kind of clogs up a little bit, but you can get it out. Alright, so we're going to continue around. I want to do the head of the skull, the crossbones, the details of the feathers, and then when it's all done it looks like this, and then you're going to have to set it aside and let it dry. Once it's dry, you can start adding like a drippy wax edge. This is new for me too. I've seen lots of people do it, but I've never done it myself, and I thought it was perfect for this grungy poison candle. I think this is going to look great with the eek sign. So I'm going to continue around and just make a line of glue and let it drip and run down. If your glue is drying too quickly, maybe you don't have a very steady hand, you can use your hair dryer, or you can use a heat gun like I have here and just turn the candle so nothing warps, but let that glue kind of run down a little bit. And I did 3 layers of this on the top, and I just kept adding to it and letting it drip down so it looked like a very old candle that's been used a lot. It's in an old scary haunted house, or beautiful, you know, it's your opinion, whichever way. It might not be scary to you. And we want it to look like it's been there forever. We want it to look like it's been a well-used candle. We want it to look like it's been sitting in the dust and the grossness, and that's where this little shimmer spray comes in handy. Check this out. Look at the automatic age you get with that. Perfecto! I did not know what this stuff was when I picked it up at Goodwill. I had no idea what it was, but somebody told me it was for crafting, so I grabbed it and then started playing around with it and realized what a perfect way to age something. So yeah, I mean, if you've ever used this stuff before, you can put in the comments where it came from, what you use it for, because I'm loving it, and I will definitely be putting this back to use next year for Halloween as well. Alright, so I'm going to use some of that black and the antiquing wax and just go all over this. I really want to get in the spaces where the wax is and where the hot glue is. Well, you know what I mean. So that it looks really like dust has been in the wax and it's been just sitting up. Oh yeah. Yes, this thing looks very old. Would you agree? Do you think it does? I think that just really made so much of a difference. The next project is our candelabra. Forgive me for missing footage, but this had a cork on it. I took the cork off. Now I'm going to use a long bead and a candle holder. A single little candle holder. I'm going to take this bead and I'm going to fill it up with glue. Well, partly with glue on both sides. Then I am going to place it over the stem where the cork was. Careful, careful, because glue will come out. But look, I'm going to use that glue again, recycling my glue so that I can put the other bead down in the candlestick. Alright, once it is dried, I'm going to take some black paint and go over the bead. So this will now look like part of the candlestick or the candelabra. Same thing on the bottom, we don't want to see that. I'm going to take a little piece of stem, add some glue to it, and then fit that bead right over the top. And it's small enough that it fits right beside the screw with no problem. You do have to hold it there until it dries so that the sides of the candle will be balanced and you don't have one higher than the other like it's a scale instead. I'm going to dry brush some gold all over it just because that is the theme in this video. We have all kinds of gold. And I'm going to continue around and just go over it lightly. Again, building up A little more here and there. Wherever you want to use more accent, you can, like around the cups where the candles are held, you could do that. You could color the whole thing gold if you wanted, but I love the way this looks. These are the emergency 2-pack of candles from Dollar Tree. We're going to give them a makeover. I'm going to use just a little bit of masking tape, and I am going to go just put this around the light bulb part of both of these candles to protect them, because I'm going to spray paint them with some of that same black satin paint. Once they're dry completely, I'm going to peel off the paint, and the little candle part is still nice and clean. Now the thing with these particular candles, of course they do take AAA batteries and they don't come with them, so be sure you buy some. They have a white light, which is not my favorite, but I'll show you how to fix that. I'm going to use some of these little foam tape pieces. You can get something similar at Dollar Tree. Whoops. And I'm just going to use these to stick these down in the little candle cups. And they'll stay there nicely. I said nicely again. My mother informed me that I say nicely a lot, so if that bugs anybody, I do apologize. Okay, so you can see there's white light there. If you don't care for the white light, you can paint the little light. So I'm using some sunflower paint in yellow, and I'm just going to go over this, and you can see as I'm painting it, it changes the color to a yellowish color. You can put as many coats on here as you want to, but I don't mind it being streaky because a candlelight is streaky anyway, and you can't tell when it's lit. But you can see the difference now in the light. Let them dry. We're going to add a little spider decorative piece right on there just to really give it a little something extra. You can come watch my videos on Mondays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. It is free to subscribe. We'd love to have you as part of the family and talk to you in the comments. The next project is a creeping vine candelabra. I found this at the Goodwill's bins. I cannot believe that this was going to be just passed over by everybody. When I saw it, I thought, ooh yes, that's going in my bedroom. I'm going to clean it up and give it a makeover. So I've got some wipes, and I'm going to decide whether I want to use this rich espresso again, or if I want to attempt to change it up a little and use a little bit of Martha Stewart's paint in a bronze color. The bronze to me is just pulling a little too copper. I don't mind copper, but I want all these pieces to be something that can be used together and all look nice together. So I am going to kind of do it my way. Definitely do it your way. And if you're going for more silvers, instead of using the bronze or the espresso that you see me using, just switch it up for the paint that you choose. Alright, so I'm going to just use the top of this to decide which paint I like best. And you remember what I said about being a messy crafter? Well, yes, I'm finger painting in it. I think I like the darker one. I just like it. It's richer looking, and I don't want this to be brassy at all. So this color is going to be perfect for me. I'm grabbing a chippy brush here. You can use the same one you used on the other one. I didn't even have to paint this. It was already gorgeous after it was wiped off. So I'm just going to just touch this up. I'm going to add this all over. Again, I like to start off lightly, and then I just kind of look at it and decide whether or not I want to add on. It's just, for me, easier to add to it than take it off. Either way, you know, if you make a mistake, you can definitely fix it. So I am trying to make sure that when I dip in that paint, I don't leave any like puddles on the brush. I don't want any heavy amount on there. So that's why I tap it all off. I try to tap it off so that it leaves the same amount in the brush all the way across. And then I use a couple of different ways that I move the brush. You saw me do big brush strokes, kind of slow, and then as I'm adding on more, I'll move the brush side to side quickly, and that gives it a little bit better of a coverage, but also keeping it muted, which is what I like. I hope that made sense to you when I said it that way. I hope that made sense. But the finish is just beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I can't bring myself to do the brasses and the golds just yet in my crafting journey, but most definitely the bronzy colors and the coppers, that's where my heart is. I love warm earthy tones, and this is just, oh, this is beautiful. This is so beautiful. And of course, it's going to need an equally as beautiful candle to go on top, right? We don't want to let this frame down by putting something on there that does not serve it well. So this is a 2-pack of candles that are battery operated, your double A's. Get your batteries wherever you want. These came from Target Dollar Spot. I assume they had a $5 sticker on them, and I got them at either Goodwill or Dirt Cheap, I can't remember. Now I'm going to take that spray, that same alcohol spray, and I'm spraying it on this waxy finished candle, and it sticks on there just fine. It really does. And as far as the spray, where I got it from, I found it in some scrapbook and stuff at Goodwill, so I don't even know where it comes from. So this is what it will look like. The next project is going to be a bronze pedestal candle. So here's the other candle, the shorter one of the two. This is a jar lid, which I painted with black chalk paint. Here is a candle sleeve or a hurricane, and then a thrifted glass candle holder. I also have a little bit of that paper from Dollar Tree. I'm going to first use some Goo Gone or alcohol or acetone, whatever you want to use, to get off the writing on the bottom, and then you're going to wash it with soap and water and thoroughly dry it. The back of this paper has lines on it and a grid on it, which makes it perfect for you to do these types of crafts. They're really going to help you out with that paper. So I'm just going to kind of measure by laying it down. I'll cut off an even amount to wrap all the way around the back of the candle. And then right along the edge of the paper, there is like a print line. I'm going to cut that off too. I did consider that when I was measuring the length to put it on the candle. So I'll just trim that all off. And then here's our piece of paper. Get your design the way you like it. I'm going to take my little hurricane here, roll it. If I have a little overlap, that's great. That's what I'm going for. You don't want a lot, so trim it down where it just goes over, maybe 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch over. I'll use my double stick tape that I happen to get from Dollar Tree. Press it down on the glass. This way we're not waiting on Mod Podge to dry. We're not worrying about wrinkles. This is the perfect way to do this, and then if you want to change it later, you can change it out easily. I'm carefully pressing that down into half of where the tape is, leaving the other half of the tape exposed to stick this page on. Now I had it a little bit crooked, so I had to adjust just a little, and that's okay. I had a little tear on the back side, but it didn't tear through, thank goodness. And I'm just going to press that down and trim off. If you have a little extra tape, you know, hanging over, you can trim it off. Then you can grab the sanding block and get it right close to the edge, just like you would any other project. Just like it was if it was a piece of wood. Just be sure you hold on to it good so you don't drop and break it. I'm going to do this all over the top, and then I'm going to go along and do this on the bottom as well. I don't want anything hanging over because I want this to be rich and elegant looking. Look how pretty. Oh, this paper is beautiful. So here's our clean candle. I'm going to use this as the top, and this, like I said, is just a jar lid. We want this to appear to be one piece, so we're going to stick it together. All of my E6000 glue was clumped up and dried. If you have tips on how to keep that stuff from doing that, please tell me, because I have so many tubes I had to throw away because I can't use them anymore. So I grabbed this super glue from Dollar Tree, questioning whether or not it was actually going to hold these two together, but I gave it some time. This is a little multi-pack you can get at Dollar Tree, and would you look at that? It won't even wobble. Perfect. So I'm going to grab that chalk paint. This is just a rich black, and I'm going to tap it off, and I'll use this little pouncer to go all the way around my edge. I'm just rubbing this on. If you have makeup, the little makeup sponges, you could use those also. Use the flat edge. I'm just going around the edge of the white, the edge of the glass, so that it looks like one piece. And then you can pick your little hurricane shade up, and you can extend it a little bit down the sides just to continue that aged look that we're going for. Okay, so I got the top. Now I'm going to kind of smear it on the side a little bit, make it look old. It makes that print stand out with that rich black next to it. And we're going to do the bottom too. See how that just really finishes it off? I love that. I love that edged look like that. So we're going to let it dry just like that. And then the process that we used on the inside of the frame, we're going to use the same process here and make this beautiful and rich looking as if it has been in an old home on the walls forever. My niece does Sims games, and she did a build that recently had some black wallpaper in it that was gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I don't want my room to be that dark. I want it to be a little more foresty looking, you know. But yeah, I sure appreciate the look of it. That's stunning. All right, once you get the look you want, I'm just going to go ahead and spray this on now after I've done the paint. You can do it either way. You're not going to hurt yourself either way. And I'm just spraying it on top of a towel that's just a rag I use here in my studio. If you have any runny spots, just tap them off. If it runs on your page, that's totally fine. It's part of the aging process, right? So look how nice this looks together. It looks as though it was made as one piece. And I love that it now looks this black color, which really brought it together. And now we're going to add that espresso. Again, I'm starting off slow, so I'm going to start on the bottom in that rim right there on the edge and just flick that back and forth. I'm not looking for a solid painted line. It's just, again, brush strokes. And I guess there is sort of a pattern to it, but I'm not trying to get like an even amount. We want it to look like it aged this way. I'm going to go back and forth on the rounded parts just to keep that rounded look. It just makes sense that it would wear in that way when it is wiped and cleaned. Then I'm going to go around all the beautiful curves. Y'all, I ordered lamps, new lamps for my room, and they have the amber, like a teardrop in the inside of the the standing part of the lamp that makes a night light. So you can turn the light on and off, and you can also use the amber night light. Oh, that's going to be perfect for fall when I am watching movies in here in my room by my Hotbilly stove. Can't wait. Okay, so I've built it up about this much, and what I do is turn it back and forth, and I add more on in the spaces where I feel like it needs more, and it shows me if I've left anything off. Go ahead and address that and cover that. So that's what I'm doing here until I get the coverage that I like. And then, of course, you are going to let it dry after you do that. I don't need necessarily, with the process that I'm using, to color the top of it. It just didn't feel right to me not to do it. So I went ahead and worked on that top too. And I'm trying to kind of keep it circular. Now, if the sleeve that you have doesn't fit perfectly over the top, mine fits like perfect. There's no extra lip, nothing. I am going to secure that down with some hot glue, and I do it in 4 different places. I let that dry thoroughly. I mean, you really, really need to let the glue dry. If you use the candle top that is bigger, a little bit bigger than your sleeve, you'll be better off, I think. But look at it with the candle on the inside, and we didn't have to do anything special to the actual candle insert because we have this beautiful frame.